Hi, Sarah. It's a great honor
Hello.
for me to be here talking to you today.
Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome. That's a lovely beach
Um,
you have in the background. Are you at the seaside?
no, I wish I was, but Garrettstown.
Lovely. I heard it was snowing in Ireland in Cork today.
It was, yeah. It didn't stick though.
Right, I can see that in the photo. So, you're
Very
doing an
cool.
assignment? What's your assignment about?
It's an assignment for college on the journey of a successful entrepreneur. So,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting. So, I'm a successful entrepreneur, am I?
You are, yeah?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
new to me. Thank you.
So it's just a few questions that I have to ask just based on, so I can do the assignment, just based on like how the business started off and became so successful.
Okay, so you're asking me how I started doing Tune into English?
Yeah, like where your idea came from to start it.
Okay, well, when I moved to Italy, when I moved down here to Naples, where I've lived for the last 25 years now, I was working for a publisher. And what one of my roles was to give teacher training presentations to a group of teachers. Maybe there'd be 50, maybe there'd be 100 at a conference or something. And I'd present activities from the publisher's books. So they were lexical, vocabulary, reading skills, grammar skills, and so on. And once we decided, one year we decided we'd present a pop music seminar, teaching English through pop music. So we were thinking, we were brainstorming a title, and we came up with the title, I came up with the title, Tune into English, because the idea is that you tune into a radio or you tune a guitar. So if you tune in your English, you're getting the music just right. So learning English through pop music. I presented that to teachers at conferences, and it was very successful. Then I left the publisher and I began working for a radio station as a DJ. I had my own show for a few years. In the meantime, I was teaching at the British Council also and doing private lessons and other school lessons too. So what I did there, I mean, that was three things that led me to do this, to do teaching English through music for kids, for students. And the website was the first idea that I would put up worksheets for teachers to use. And after that, the show began very soon after that.
Okay. um, what do you think your major influences were on your journey to creating such a successful idea?
My major influences, well, I've always been a huge fan of music, pop music,
Okay.
to such an extreme that my mother once spoke to the headmaster of the school saying he listens to too much music. And the headmaster said, "Oh, you'll have to stop him from listening to that. That'll be very detrimental to him in the long run." But I still kept listening to it, and as you can see, it has been detrimental. So, what has the influence been? I mean, obviously, my love of music and my experience and love of teaching as well. So, putting the two of them together has been fantastic for me. You know, I'm doing two of the things that I love at the same time for work as well.
What issues do you think you encountered on your journey for it to be such a success? Like what barriers? Was there any like things that failed on the way or anything like that?
Well, you can't have successes without failures, you know.
Yeah.
Well, what barriers were there? I thought that, well, first of all, talking about the website, my initial idea was that it would be a subscription, a pay-per-use thing, that teachers would subscribe and then they'd be able to download the worksheets. And then it became apparent to me that you need to have permission to use copyrighted lyrics. So I spoke to Casa Discografica, what are they called, record labels, about using their songs, and one of them said, yes, you can use our song, but the problem is we only own 8% of the song. There are another 15 copyright owners throughout the world. You will have to contact each of them individually. And I thought, no, I can't do this. This is just a bureaucratic nightmare. So I made it a free service, which, you know, it hasn't made me a lot of money, if not from advertising through the site, but it's a passion and it's something that I'm very happy to offer.
Perfect.
I should also add, just because we're talking about barriers, I've been doing the Tune Into English Roadshow for 15 years, which is where I travel around Italy. I also do shows in Spain. It has visited 10 different countries. And it's great, wonderful energy, a great way for learning English for kids. However, I don't need to tell you what the current barrier is. So I've set up an online game show, which unfortunately doesn't have the same energy as the live performance has, but it's something. I'm just going to switch on a light here because I can see that as it's getting darker outside. Sorry, Sarah. Here we go. Turning on a light. Okay. Ah, that's better. Okay. Wow, it's still nice and sunny on the beach there, huh?
It is, yeah. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. How did the roadshow start? Because you said that you started off with like that was like the next step of Tune Into English.
Yeah, well, the roadshow, as I say, I had been working with teachers in large groups. I had presented pop music to them. And I have some friends here in Naples who have been doing theatre in English for many, many years. They've been doing it since long before I arrived. And I used to attend their show every year and think, wow, it's wonderful how they involve the students and so on. And then I thought, hang on, I can do something similar. I can get students together and get them singing songs, singing karaoke songs, looking at the grammar and vocabulary and the lyrics of their favorite pop singers and pop songs. And so I mentioned this to a friend of mine who teaches at a school here in Naples. And she said, oh, that would be great if you were to do something like that in my school. I said, yeah, fine. We met a couple of days later and she said, by the way, I've booked the meeting room, the Aula Magna, for the 21st of November. And for 200 students. And I said, what? But that's only in about 10 days. And she said, well, you better get writing. So I wrote a show really quickly, presented it to these 200 kids, and it was a huge success. So I thought, you know, I'm going to push for this and see if I can make this work. And initially, in the beginning, I thought that it would be something that maybe I'd do a couple of days a week because I was teaching at the university here in Naples at the time. And I was thinking I can fit this in on my 2 days that I'm not working. The 3 days that I am working, I have to be at university. But slowly it took over. The university contract ended because of legal issues. You can't employ someone for more than 5 years here unless you're going to give them a permanent contract. The university didn't want to give me a permanent contract, or any of us at that time. So it was a very happy coincidence that the university, I didn't have to leave it, the university left me, and the show took off to such a level that I never expected at all.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, so it didn't start off really small and then grow. It started off big with the 200 straight away.
Yeah, no, good point. I mean, there were then obviously a few shows that I did along the way at the beginning where there were only like 40 or 50 kids. But the first one, the first one was a huge, huge whammy for me. But since then, I've done it to a packed theatre of about 600 kids. So I've done that more than once. So that's a lot of fun and a lot of energy too.
There's a question here about your resources within your business. Like you run it on your own, don't you? Or do you have any other people working with you in relation to like making it keeping it to be such a success, or is it just you on your own?
How can I answer that? Tune Into English. I am Tune Into English. It's a one-man operation. I have considered taking other people on to help me, but speaking to other entrepreneurs who have grown, they've all said, yeah, you make more money, but the hassle, you know, trying to manage everybody, and you're putting your name into their hands as well. And, you know, I mean, they might be brilliant, but they might not be so good. And I thought, well, yeah, you know, I'm doing okay as a one-man operation. So it's full tilt when I'm on tour, you know, trying to manage everything. But there are moments where I'm not on tour, and that gives me time to manage the other aspects of it. And it's very exhilarating. It's great fun, and I do enjoy being by myself, being just me and not having to answer to anyone. However, I do want to say that's the road show, which I cannot do without the teachers' help when I go to schools. Obviously, I mean, without them, I'm not working. So, you know, in that sense.
Okay, yeah.
And during the show, you know, they ask me how many people are going to be involved in the show, wanting to know how many of us are going to turn up to school. And I say, well, if there are 100 kids, there are 101 of us doing the show, because it's so interactive. It's also important to say about the website. The website is a collaborative effort. I run it. I upload everything completely. But the worksheets on there, they come from contributors throughout the world who send me worksheets every month, and I publish them. So, you know, Tune Into English also belongs to those teachers.
Okay. Do you think that it's because of your passion that you think you run it so well on your own, because you're the one who's so passionate about it?
Yes, that's a good point. I think I couldn't keep it going this long. It's been going now for 17 years. I couldn't keep it going this long, couldn't have kept it going this long if I hadn't been passionate about it. Absolutely.
I'm trying to see, did I not cover any of the topics here? Oh yeah, do you think you did anything like extremely different that stood out to your entrepreneur like experience, or do you think that you started this off like anyone else would?
That's a difficult question to answer. It's something I started off with a devil may care attitude, because to do the first tour, I had to leave everything else behind. I couldn't take a course as an English teacher, because I couldn't commit to being there at the school on a Thursday morning or whatever. I might be on tour in the north of Italy or whatever. So the answer to that is you need to be someone who will just jump in at the deep end. If I had been more careful and worried about what the future might bring, maybe I wouldn't have done it, because it was a risk, but it was something that I felt I wanted to do.
Okay, yeah. I think I've got everything covered here that I have anyways. Is there anything you want to add?
Is there anything I want to add? Let's see. I'm sure now, as soon as we say goodbye, I'll have loads of things I want to add, but I can't think of anything right now. So tell me, Tune Into English, learning English through pop music. Do you speak any languages, Sarah? Any other languages apart from English and Irish, the Guelga?
A tiny bit of French for the Leaving Cert, but no, not much.
Okay, do you know any French songs?
No.
Do you think that if your teacher had used songs in learning English and learning French, that you would have found it easier?
I think it would have made it much more interesting, I suppose, because I personally wasn't a huge fan of French, but I think that using music would have made it more exciting to learn about it. Whereas the approach that you do in Leaving Cert for French is just like, you know, basic grammar, you know, just talking about it. There's nothing like fun about it, I suppose. So I feel like if you made it fun, it would be more exciting to learn it.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah. So let's see now if we can both remember our French. When you make a negative, you've got to say je ne vais pas. Okay, you've got to add the pas. However, if you're saying nothing, rien, what happens to the pas? So you say I regret nothing. Would you say? How would you say I regret nothing? Je ne regrette.
No,
Okay, your rule should say je ne regrette pas rien, but because the rien already has the negative in it, you just say je ne regrette rien. Rien. Yeah, great
and
French
no
accent there.
pas.
So there's a very famous song by Edith Piaf which goes je ne regrette rien. Now, if your teacher had played you that song just once, just once, which is 3 minutes of your 45, 50-minute lesson, you would never, ever forget that rule.
This is true. Yeah, I forgot it already.
There you go.
Yeah,
And you will never
that's
forget
true.
it now.
It would be more engraved in the brain. Yeah.
So that's just to give you an idea of how tuning to English works, learning languages through pop music. It doesn't necessarily help you in your project, but it's a demonstration.
No, yeah, it's good.
Okay. So, will we say goodbye?
I have everything. You answered all my questions here anyways.
Okay, excellent. Well, if you need anything else, you just tell me, okay? And
Perfect,
I'll
thank
let you
you.
know. Thank you very much, Sarah. Bye.
Bye.